Hi, I'm Abby Chicken, Head of Sustainability at Openreach. Welcome to Zeroing In, where we sit down with leaders across the telecoms industry to talk about sustainability, what's working, what's challenging, and where we can go further together. So today, I'm really happy to be joined by Chris Horgan from DexGreen. There's a lot of people who are listening to this are probably not familiar with DexGreen unless they are very into telecoms. So we've had a long relationship between Openreach and DexGreen. What is it that you guys do?
DexGreen is a design and manufacturer of telecoms components. Over the years we've worked on optical fibre connectivity, supporting our customers as their networks mature.
So this is the kit our engineers use every single day. So when they're building the broadband network out in people's houses, they are using DexGreen manufactured equipment. Is that fair?
Many parts of the network, yes, yeah.
Can you tell me, why is sustainability important to all of you at DexGreen?
So sustainability is key to everything we do in the company. We follow design thinking, so it's embedded into product design where we work directly with end users of components and design right first time. Understanding the needs of the engineers, and that has a huge impact on sustainability because it ensures that the products last in the network in the long term.
And you've been spending a lot of time with us and out with our engineers. So can you tell us a bit about that sustainability journey? What's been happening at DexGreen over the years?
Really, the goal is to ensure that the products are installed right first time, ensuring that fault volumes are minimised in the network. So really it involves basic things like simplifying the installation, reducing the use of extra consumables in the network, which obviously results in wastage and obsolescence of materials, interfacing the right stakeholders together, be they engineering, supply chain and so on.
So really getting out with our people, getting your designers to understand what they're going through.
Correct.
And what's the biggest challenge in sustainability you faced?
Being able to change how the products are installed, coming up with more universal systems already integrated into the product. That has a huge impact in terms of design time. And then I suppose secondly, another challenge has been the packaging itself, where previously we would have relied on a lot of plastics to protect engineered materials, whereas now we've had to move into more environmentally friendly recyclable materials. And that does take a lot of time in terms of testing and evaluating these materials.
So I know that we have been working with you for a long time on carbon, as you've said, and on plastics, but is there one thing that you're really proud of?
One thing we're proudest of is how we've managed to standardise components. In other words, being able to develop materials that minimise the use of extra consumables needed, bring it back to basics. The products come fully fitted with everything that the engineer needs to do to install the job right first time, and being willing to collaborate throughout the product's use in the network, I suppose making sure that the product can be improved further on.
So getting the right kit, easy to install, limited packaging, and then working with the engineers to see what else we can remove.
And really, I suppose, adapting the products in the future as well. We're looking at eliminating the use of unnecessary cable lengths with terminals, items like ensuring the enclosures don't need extra accessories like sealing kits and stuff like this. That has huge impacts in terms of logistics and warehousing, freight, and further downstream in the supply chain, where material use in the product itself, the plastics and metals that are used in the materials, because these are engineering components. These do need to endure a long time in an outside plant environment, but we're looking to come up with clever designs, stuff like webbing on the design and things like this that will minimise the amount of unnecessary embodied carbon in those materials.
And does working with Openreach and the standards that we set help you with other customers as well?
Yes, so often Openreach sets a standard for the industry itself through its rigorous testing and evaluation of the components that are used in its network.
So we are now at the peak build of our programme and we are moving very, very quickly. And we can't do that without suppliers like DexGreen coming with us. So how does that speed affect what you do with us every day?
It focuses our mind, Abby. It means that we must bring a lot of agility and flexibility to everything we do in terms of designing the components that we supply Openreach. If our customer needs it, then we need to set that objective, and it gives us timelines as well. So that has a big impact to the focus of our teams. It helps us in terms of meeting our own environmental goals as well, and we're fully aligned with Openreach's sustainability objectives.
You guys are relentless in terms of looking for the things that we don't need that you could think differently about. But also, I know before you talked me through the packaging that we've changed to mean that you can fit more on a pallet. Tell me a bit about that process, what was happening to do that?
A lot of the products are 100% recyclable. there still is a lot left to do in terms of removing stuff like cable ties. It's a balance because you do need to balance the engineering or the end user functionality of the product, for example a cable coil, with the sustainability aspect of it in terms of recycling. We've obviously done the basics in terms of reducing plastic bags as much as we can, using fully recyclable materials like cardboards and papers. I suppose the other thing is this is becoming a mandatory requirement now. There is mandatory requirements coming in, which we're trying to get ahead of, you know, so whatever happens, we're going to have to do this anyway. Further on, in terms of in warehousing and in fulfillment centres, again, your higher packing density, meaning there's the products are still maintaining their functionality, becoming more lightweight, becoming more compact, and I suppose going on to another area, this does help with civils avoidance in terms of the underground network, the chambers, which are becoming quite congested, and likewise up in the poles, and they'll only get more congested as the build matures. So we're really trying to work very closely with the adapting needs of the end users to make sure that not only the packaging but the size of the products themselves can evolve with those needs.
So smaller products makes it easier to deploy. And you mentioned getting ahead of extended producer responsibility, so this kind of packaging legislation that's coming in. How does that give you competitive advantage? Because what's the point? If you're going to have to do it anyway, what's the aim doing it sooner? Well,
I suppose first of all it's assisting us in terms of efficiencies, in terms of producing the product, making sure that the products are packed appropriately as opposed to over-engineering the packaging of them.
And is it true? I think somebody told me that you've got smaller packaging, smaller products, that's more on a pallet, so lower impact in the warehouse, but also you can fit more on a shipping container, so it reduces the emissions in that bit as well.
Being able to achieve a greater packing density ensures the product is in the country, and the right product is in the country as well. And also the way we approach design, because we design it right first time, means all the products come with the necessary accessories. So there's no need for any extra consumables in a lot of the materials we supply.
What's next on the sustainability agenda for you guys then?
We do need to work on more lightweight packaging, working with the end users of the products to make sure that we balance the engineering aspect in terms of protecting the product with the sustainability requirements. And I suppose the other thing is designing for future maintenance of the network as well, where the products themselves are scalable and adaptable. So that means that we can truly come up with a product then that will last for decades in the network without needing for any replacement of the product as the network changes and evolves into the future.
How do you see the industry evolving over the next 5 years?
We see the industry having to evolve where connections and provisions have to be done at pace. As a material supplier, we're going to have to be looking at novel methods to increase the rate of subscriber installs. And I suppose that can only come with close collaboration and working with the technical teams and the other teams in OpenReach so that we understand truly what OpenReach's customer base needs out of their network.
Chris, thank you so much for talking to me today. This is Zeroing In, where we've spoken so far to customers, to suppliers, and there will be more. So keep a watch out for the next episode where we'll be speaking to more of our suppliers on the sustainability journey with us.